So we're back today. We're going to talk about Lisa Sue. But first, how are you, Sunny? Is everything good?
Everything's good. Life's busy. We
Yeah.
have had a change of season down under,
Okay.
so we have officially hit spring. So I believe you
Mm,
must be in autumn.
yeah.
So weather's changing, things are getting a little bit warmer. I'm sure the opposite is happening to you right now.
Yeah. So what is a little bit warmer in Australia?
At this stage, it's getting up to about 30 degrees Celsius, and
A
and
little bit
that's
warm.
quite early on in the season.
Yeah.
However, when we get into the dead of summer, I mean it's not uncommon to hit a string of 40-degree days, which is hot. I mean that's hot. I'm not sure what it gets to in Scandinavia, but
No,
yeah,
it,
it's
it, it
hot.
doesn't get. Well, we might see 30 every once in a
Okay,
blue
right.
moon, but
Oh,
that
really?
that's that
Okay.
that's yeah, that's not common. So how do you chill out? Basically just cool down. Is it just be sitting inside in the aircon or swimming pools?
Yeah, I probably would prefer a swimming pool or air conditioning.
Mm,
A lot of Australians will go to the beach. That's
mm,
a very much indoctrinated within the culture to go to the beach, particularly on Sundays. It's a beach culture, so that tends to be
mm,
quite predominant. A lot of people socialize. It's a it's starting to be a very social time of the year. I think as we are approaching Christmas time, Christmas parties start coming into play, and it's just that whole wind down effectively of work. So yeah, you can kind of sense that Christmas is not too far. It's just kind of around the corner.
mm.
You can kind of sense it. Even in the shops, you can kind of sense
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
You know?
So
Yeah.
how do you cope with basically the rest of the world seeing Christmas as a winter experience with the reindeers? And although I'm going to give you one thing on the reindeers, all the reindeers from Santa is officially male. However, when people like me who do live with reindeers, we do know that the only reindeer that keeps their horns in the winter time is the females.
Is that right?
So maybe if it's gonna be a winter thing, it's probably gonna have to be Christmas in summer if you want the male reindeer. So you have to give one's gotta go. A, you do Christmas at summer and you can keep Rudolph, or B, you're gonna have to change them. I don't know.
But on a side note, a
Yeah.
standard Christmas meal would be something warm, something hot, I'd imagine, like a
Mhm,
cooked meat or something warm,
mhm.
effectively, right?
Yeah,
Because it's a cold environment. Our
yeah,
Christmas meals are purely seafood, largely. So it's
yeah.
seafood, it's lobster, it's prawns, it's anything seafood. So it's
But
it's
you
it's a
do the
topsy turvy
barbecue.
thing. Oh, absolutely. That's part of it too. Yeah, yeah. That is well within the culture. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
beers
Yeah.
and barbecues.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
Mm.
That's it. Excessive amounts
It's a
of beer and
lovely
barbecuing.
is a lovely culture. We're going to talk about Lisa Su today, and she's going to be the first woman we talk about, which is not that bad since it's our third episode. I don't feel we have strayed too much yet. What's your first take, Lisa Su?
She's come from an immigrant background. She's kind of defy the odds. She's
Mm,
came from an immigrant background from Taiwan. There's a lot to respect about her. Just
mm,
the way she carries herself. I mean, what she focuses on, she's definitely, a visionary, definitely a visionary. She's very passionate and she's very good at what she does. So I think she's one of those outliers, and we don't see those sorts of people come across every day, particularly from the challenges that she would have had to face growing up as an immigrant kid in the USA. You know, many years ago. I think she went to the US when she was a kid, but there would have been a lot of challenges that she would have faced, and I think she's one of the ones who have really come through and blossomed and been an inspiration for a lot of people who've come after her.
um, can one of the takes from this be that when it comes to the upper echelons of management, at the end of the day, skill and personality and just pure talent, the things that makes people stand out is kind of doesn't really see that much to gender or background, because you do at the end of the day want the best of the best in those positions.
Yeah, I agree. One thing I would throw out is she'd be what I think late 50s, early 60s or thereabouts in age. So she
Mhm.
would have come through. Diversity and inclusion obviously was not around when she
No.
made her ascension up. So I think she's had to battle a lot more than most people have. Um, the fact that she's a female would have been a big challenge. The fact that she physically looks different, she's from a different culture, a different country, and I imagine English wasn't her native tongue as well. So I think she faced a lot of barrages of challenges in life. And again, she's one of those ones that really made it, where a lot of
Mhm.
people would not have made it. So she really is an example of what is possible, but I guess behind that success is a lot of drive, determination, and smarts. I think she has smarts.
Yeah, give a little background on her for the audiences that doesn't know who she is or haven't read the episode description. Uh, Lisa Swang Fang Su is Chinese. She's born in 69, but first and foremost, she is right now the chief executive officer of MAD, which is Advanced Micro Devices. And she is one of a few top level executives and CEOs in some of the largest or biggest businesses around. There are other we will uncover later. I want to talk about Sheryl Sandberg at some point, but we'll get to her today. It's Lisa Su. She has been at Texas Instruments. She's been at IBM, Freescale Semiconductor, and I don't know. She has a really impressive career, and
Mm.
her degrees are from MIT, which is the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. It was just to bring people up to speed, and for those who haven't heard about her, to understand why we have chosen her for today's episode. Um, she she's been named Executive of the Year, one of the greatest leaders by Fortune magazine. This is quite an impressive list.
I think above and beyond. I would agree,
Yeah.
just above and beyond. I mean, I think her net worth, take net worth, is worth. I think she's worth about $1 billion, and that's
Mm-hmm.
one generation, which is incredible. And she's
Yeah.
not an entrepreneur slash business owner. I mean, she's the CEO slash MD of AMD. So
Mm.
what she's been able to achieve is massive. What do you think is behind? I don't know what's a couple of things that you think might be behind where she's today.
Well, given her degree and her area of competence and studies, obviously, I would think that it started out with
Mm.
passion. She had a passion for something. It's just one second. She had a great passion for something, which was engineering or computer science or something along those lines, whichever it was, I don't know. And I'm going to assume, which is always dangerous, but I'm going to assume that she kind of rose through the ranks because she was better than her surroundings. She was just better. From my point of view, uh, for me, a great manager to to get into that uh, I don't know position or to be one of those considered. Uh, there's three things I feel you need. You need to be respected by your peers for your competence, because that's gonna that's necessary to just show people that you know what you're talking about. The second part would be to understand the industry you are serving. And if you are respected by your peers and have a great understanding of the industry you're serving. You are well on your way. The third one would be to understand the competition, to be able to outperform your competitors because you know something about, you know more about the academic side of it, you know more about the industry, and you do know more about your competitors than the people or the businesses you are competing with. Now, that tells me that not only did she have a great passion for the subjects that she was studying, this wasn't something she just did because someone told her to. She really liked it. And then at some point, she must have had several other talents as well, because understanding the industry you're in just by default, it's not all about understanding. Most people have an understanding of the industry. She needed to have a better understanding of the industry
Sure,
she was
sure.
working in. And the third one, to understand competitors. And one thing is to assess what they're doing today, but she had to be, or have to be, better and at analyzing what they're doing now, and trying to foresee their vision, where they're going as well. So for me, what I like about her, and one of the things that attracted me to do this show, was the idea of seeing, okay, she came from an engineering background, and she is the CEO. And obviously, to have I'd say that, you know, in an engineering company, everything up until top middle management, you're gonna need people knowing the academic side of it. You're gonna need people, if you're gonna produce cars or computer chips or whatever, they need to be respected by their peers. But as soon as you enter the C-suite, it's usually more doctorates in finance or economics or marketing or HR. Organizational psychology has been quite popular in the later years, and stuff like that. But she's kind of managed, and she hasn't done it only once. She's done it over and over. And as you pointed out, there are cultural challenges she's probably faced as well. So there has to be something quite unique here to make this happen.
Yeah, indeed.
D- did that make sense?
Yeah, it does. There's a
Yeah,
couple of
yeah.
points I wouldn't mind just kind of expanding upon him. It's a very good point. One of the things she has is this insatiable amount of curiosity to run into solve problems. So it's almost like she's a problem magnet, and she's there to solve problems. And
Hmm.
I'm like from my kind of understanding of Lisa Su, I don't think she started out saying I'm going to be the CEO or the MD of AMD, one of the biggest semiconductor companies, come AI companies in the world. I don't think that was ever her intention. I think she went into it wanting to follow her curiosity because she was curious. She had this insatiable amount of curiosity. She wanted to do well. She wanted to solve problems. And that snowballed into something else. And then it led into something else. This whole idea of people getting to where they get to in life organically is far more powerful than a scripted prescription of I'm going to do this, 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 and then I'll become this.
Hmm.
Because it's like she took the blinders off, took the rails off, and followed a path which is organic to herself. And I thought that's very cool. Um, it's almost like, had she taken a prescripted path, she may have missed opportunities along the way.
Hmm.
That is what I
So,
think she's done.
no, but I agree. I agree. I think her path is nothing similar to Warren Buffett, and it has nothing to do with Florentino Perez. They are three, I mean, like literally, really, really different individuals, and still they have obtained a massive amount of success in their careers. What I would say here is that she's just been better than her peers. And is that one thing so something like more talent and more effort from an early age, or a combination of talent and effort from an early age, and then she has, I don't know, just managed to uncover her other skill set going along, and it's probably been forced because she saw what was needed to be done, and she went out and did it because she's been punching upwards, not downwards. This is not the Warren Buffett that owns everything and controls everything. This is not
Yeah.
Florentino Perez, the CEO of a family-owned company. She's been fighting her way up. Maybe not fighting. I'm not going to say that people were standing in her way. They might have said this is great, but
Uh,
still, she had to go out and see stuff that other people didn't see, and she had to present it somehow. And she's going to have to argue for it. And you get where I'm coming from.
yeah,
The
do.
idea that because she came in as a specialist, because that's her education. She's a specialized computer science person, and she has. I don't know if she has any patents, but I do know she's uncovered stuff from a science point of view that other people haven't, which tells me that okay, that's the science side. Then you have the business side, and she has to be better at the business side as well. So she must have understood these things while she was developing, and she had to
Yeah.
go into room full of men, probably men. I'm going to say men because
Yeah.
there's probably
Absolutely.
men, and just blow their heads off. And I mean that not literally, obviously, but just with her ideas and her visions and her way to communicate. So what yeah, as I said, the idea that when you combine talent and effort with a great passion, and it becomes a vision, and then it becomes a goal. I think that's somewhere along the line I would place Lisa Su.
Yeah. And then her ability to bring everybody along for the
Mm.
ride, to bring them on
She
the
had
vision.
she had to be one of the back in the day back in the day,
Yeah.
Alexander the Great and stuff like that. They
Mm.
were great generals, and there's a famous quote from Spartacus, and you know
Yep.
Spartacus, short story. He was a slave that ran away from the Roman Empire, and he brought along a lot of people, and they had an army, and they fought their way out of Italy, and they were cornered, and eventually um, the Roman general rises up and say, "Give me Spartacus, and the rest of you will live." And all of a sudden, 10,000 men, one by one, I am Spartacus. I am Spartacus. I am Spartacus. The thing is that this happens when great leaders provides their followers with a reason to buy into the vision. Now, for the slaves, it was obvious they were to be freed. So they bought into the vision. If I fight with him, I'm gonna be free. I can have a wife. I can have a life. So yeah, I'm gonna join you in this fight. And like the Three Musketeers, all for one for all. And Lisa Su seems to me as one of the people that's been able to do that her whole life. Every the teams that she's been in has outperformed their competitors. And we do know her academic credentials as a specialist is not, yeah, they are amazing. So, given that fact, it tells me that she has some leadership qualities inside here that has to be amazing.
So on that point, take Spartacus forward to 2025. How do people inspire people to come on these journeys for the greater good of the company? Because every company has a vision and mission, and they're in it for a reason. In a society whereby a lot of people are just punching a clock, punching a number, doing their 9 to 5, and they want to get home and get lost on social media.
Let's drop down in that rabbit hole for just 1 second because this is interesting. If you want to be a leader, um, what it means practically is that you have to do to maximize the output from the resources at hand. And usually, when you are appointed a leader, you are following someone else, and you're going to have to do better. That's why you're hired. Now, doing better will by default mean doing something different. Doing something different means that you have to reallocate resources, change plans, strategies, and everything. And they have to be aligned with the company goals. This is where thing gets difficult, because now you have a lot of people that used to do one thing. Now you're going to have to ask them to do something else. If they're going to do something else and do better, they're going to have to buy into your plan. You need to motivate them.
Behavior change.
Yes.
You're talking
Yes,
behavior
it's
change.
a cultural change. You're going to need to, they are going to have to, if you ask someone that's been flipping a burger in one way for 20 years to start flipping that burger another way, well, if you don't put any resources into that just by default, the result will be worse off, because he has a technique. He knows what he's doing is efficient. So you're going to, so you have to make sure that the people that follows you, that they change their behavior. You have to. If they don't, you will not improve anything. Everything is going to decrease. So what you're going to have to do, you're going to have to talk to everyone. Now you can do that through middle management and stuff like that, but you're going to have to talk to everyone, because you're going to have to, you need to figure out what their motivation is. It's like, Sunny, if I want you to follow my lead, I'm going to have to figure out, why would you want to do that? What's in it for you? For Spartacus and his slaves, well, freedom, the potential to have a life. For you, it might be, I don't know, a condo on the Gold Coast, something small, some more days off. I don't know, something. But I'm going to need to figure out what can make your life better. And then I have to align that with the company goals in a plan with activities that you buy into. And this is what she's been able to, because for me to make that plan, I need to know the industry and the competitors better than everyone else. If not, yeah, I can have you buy into the plan, but the plan will not work. The plan will only work if it's good. For it to be good, I need to know more about the competition. I need to know more about the industry. You need to respect me, because you know what I'm talking about. Now, if we can start off there, so we all can see that this plan will produce the results we need. When I've done that, I'm going to need to sit down with you and see where your goals aligns with the company goals, because that's the pressure point. This is where we push. And when we've done that, I have to allocate the resources necessary to help you do the changes you need to do. Now, if these things aren't met, if any one of these variables are left behind or left outside, it's not going to work.
Totally.
I can literally
Totally.
say, there's so many great examples of this, because every time you see someone say, we want to do this, we want to be the best football club, we want to be the best company, we want to be this, or we want to be that, which is quite a common statement. Most people call it vision. And that's just the thing. Unless it's followed by concrete action, that's just what it is. It's an idea. It's nothing more. And for it to be followed by concrete action, it has to be an influx of resources, of ideas, of training manuals and everything. And for that to be consumed by the organization or the individual, it has to align with something that's like, what's in it for me? And this is the thing that she does. And all the good or great general does. You're not going to win a war if the people fighting for you doesn't believe in you or your plan.
Yeah. Because fundamentally, you need to find out everyone's why. If you know your why, you'll find your how. I think it's very, very important.
This is why you are good at sales, because you do this intuitively, which is quite amazing. But most people, I would say that based on the research I've done, maybe 2.5 to 5% of modern managers or leaders are capable of doing what we are talking about right now.
Why do you think? What's behind that? Why do you think that's the case?
I think it's literally a lack of understanding. It's like I'm not going to name any names, but uh, I've had so many uh, companies. You can read their internal emails. These are the goals for the week. This is what we're going to do. And the thing is that inside these emails, you always find small changes in attitude, changes in how things are supposed to be done. You've read them. They are common. A weekly, the morning meeting. This is what we're going to get through this week. And the thing is that if you can read one of them and see, well, here's some changes, something's going to change. Now, if a change isn't followed by concrete resources and a plan for how each individual is going to adapt and adjust to these changes and what the output is expected to be, I'm sorry, it's not going to work. And it's bad management by default. This is why, okay, when I used to be a management consultant, I would say to any organization I work with, if you are to hire a manager, you're going to have an expectation that they're going to produce at least 5% more than the last one did. If not, you're wasting. There's no point in changing if you don't have that expectation. Now, if you do have that expectation, you're going to need the manager to come up with a plan. And this plan is understanding the environment you are in, the industry, and the competition. And they're going to come up with a plan on how to exploit opportunities in the industry and better the competition. And this is a realistic 5% plan. Then they're going to have to come up with a plan on how to engage the people going to war for you, which are your employees. And I'd say you cannot be a good leader without being not necessarily a people person, but you're going to have to be able to understand that unless there's something in it for the people you're managing, and that has to, if not, you're not going to get the effort.
Exactly.
It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
And if you don't get the effort, you're just changing stuff. And if you change stuff without, making sure that people that's supposed to do the changes are, tagging along, you'll fail. And you will not produce the 5%. And you can throw that leader out within 6 months.
Yeah. Because I think utopia, I think the ultimate situation is when
Yeah.
you have employees managing up. So they are actually managing their manager. So that looks like, for example, an employee sending out an email once a week just saying, FYI, these are my key imperatives for the week. This is what success looks like. This is what I'm chasing. This is where I'm at in my pipeline. That are those really proactive conversations.
Yeah.
When employees are managing up, they're managing their manager. And that sounds a little bit facetious, but I think it's actually a good thing because the manager knows, this person knows what they're doing. Give them the room to move, give them the resources to move, and just be there in support. But just let them do what they've got to do and move the blockages, move the barriers that inhibit their growth.
Be the hockey mom for them, remove obstacles and make sure that they can produce. If you have a salesperson that's capable of producing the budget and the budget and a half, let them. Don't stand in a way.
If they're high in will and skill.
Yeah. But let's bring it back to Lisa. And the thing about Lisa is that she have to be good at this. If she's not good at this, because everywhere she's gone, the results have gone up. And
she's a very personable person. She's a very personable. It's like she's a feeler. Like I think she's probably an ambivert. She's got a bit of extroversion and introversion, but she's a feeler, and people get it. And that I think people respond to that. They respond. They don't react. They respond.
I think without knowing anything more about her, that if you take her into the Adam Grant universe, that she's probably a giver. I think she raises people around her. She makes them better. and that's one of, you know, part of being the team. She understood their motivations and their goals, and yeah, it's just worked. We have clocked up more than half an hour now.
We
That's a
have.
lot of time. That's the longest episode we had so far. So, and I think we're gonna try to round it off. If there's a concrete advice you'd bring to our listeners based on Lisa Sue, what would it be?
Follow what you are intuitively fascinated
Mm,
with,
mm.
as opposed to following the masses of what is contemporary or what looks good or what can potentially make you a lot of money. Follow something which is unique to you, where you have an unfair advantage over other people because you are so much into it that your competition doesn't stand a chance.
I'm gonna be agree with that head on. That's but be nice as well.
Indeed.
Be nice at the same time.
Indeed.
Sunny,
Yeah.
thank you so much. It was amazing as usual. So I'm going to stop the
Always.
recording. You don't have to leave quite yet. Just 1 second.
Yeah.
I found something fun, so I'm going to bring in this one.